Your 20s. They call it the defining decade. Looking back, these years really have been filled with growth, mistakes, and meaningful discoveries about myself and the world. I want to share with you 5 life lessons I've learned in my 20s. Number 1, there's no such thing as the perfect choice. I used to spend so much time agonizing over making the right decision. Career paths, relationships, taking new opportunities. I approached everything like one wrong choice would be the end of the world, like somehow it would put me behind in life's race. Here's what I've learned. It's not about finding the perfect choice. Every choice has both good and bad aspects. It's about choosing something and then showing up for it wholeheartedly. When I was picking my medical specialty, I felt overwhelmed. I loved so many areas of medicine and was terrified of making the wrong choice. But eventually, I made a decision and threw myself into it completely. Yes, I did go through my fair share of identity crises, as you may have seen in some of my previous videos. But once I worked through that and made the commitment to pursue psychiatry, it became not about the choice itself anymore, but about how I could be a great psychiatrist. I became more immersed in my learning with so much more enthusiasm, curiosity, and drive. The same goes for relationships. It's not about finding some perfect partner who never disagrees with you. It's about finding someone worth putting in the effort with, then actually putting in that effort together. When the topic of marriage came up in my relationship with my now husband, I did have a moment of questioning. Is this the right person? What if there's someone else who's better suited for me? However, once I decided that this is the person I love most and I committed, it was no longer about questioning whether this was the right person. It became all about how I can show up fully to be a good wife and how we can make our marriage happy and sustainable. It's about the effort we're both putting in. Every choice has its challenges, but our response to those challenges is what shapes our story, our life. Number 2, writing is a powerful tool for understanding life. I used to think writing was something you just did for school. It turns out it's been one of my greatest tools for making sense of life. Writing isn't just about putting words on paper. It's like having a deep conversation with yourself. It helps me process thoughts, connect ideas, and capture those fleeting moments that would otherwise disappear. Last year, I made a resolution that I'm still working on, to actually digest the information that I consume. Whether it's a book that moves me, a video that inspires me, or a quote that resonates, I don't want to just let it pass by. I want to sit with it, process it, make it mine. Writing is how I do that. Journaling has become incredibly valuable to me. Some days I write about what happened that day. Other days I'm processing emotions or working through realizations. It's helped me pay attention to myself, to the changing seasons, to the moments with my loved ones. It's like leaving notes for my future self, capturing who I was and what mattered to me. There's this beautiful quote from a book called 8 Words. We cannot grasp what has flowed away. Only what is deeply engraved can be caught. Writing is my way of engraving moments, of practicing gratitude naturally, of slowing down in a world that's always rushing. Reading old journals is like rediscovering parts of myself I'd forgotten. Number 3, learning to have a sense of enough. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to want more. More success, more money, more of everything. Especially in our late 20s, when it feels like everyone is chasing the next big thing, the degree, the job, the pay raise, the car, the house. It's easy to lose sight of what enough actually feels like. Let me share something I wrote in my journal 2 years ago. Even though our life isn't materialistically glamorous, it feels rich. It feels abundant. Thanks to the delicious home-cooked meals my husband makes, our evening walks, and our Friday night fried chicken tradition. At that time, I was a medical student living in a one-bedroom apartment, while my husband was the only breadwinner. Our lives weren't glamorous by any external measure, but somehow life felt incredibly full. I could fully appreciate the summer warmth, living in my dream city, sharing meals that were made with love. I was deeply happy in my marriage and genuinely grateful for our simple life. It's the small moments. Feeling the breeze during an evening walk, sharing deep conversations, the comfort of familiar routines that make life feel abundant. Happiness isn't about accumulating more. It's about noticing and appreciating what's already here, right in front of us. Number 4, balancing big dreams with small, consistent actions. I used to set grand goals and then feel overwhelmed by how big they seemed. Over time, I've learned that meaningful dreams happen through small, consistent actions built into a sustainable system. It's hard to change the way you live completely overnight, and it's hard to just rely on willpower. For example, when your goal is to exercise more, it's not enough to just tell yourself that you will exercise more. How exactly will you do it? What small steps can you break it down into? You can start by reaching out to a friend for an accountability system and going to the gym together so it's less intimidating. You could start by trying out the different machines, then work toward going regularly and having more structure. Break it down into small steps so simple that there's not a high barrier. Then work your way up. Don't compare yourself to others because that can be endless. Only compare yourself to yesterday's self and strive to be a little better each day. Another example is the dream of becoming a doctor. At first glance, it may seem like a big dream, but once you break it down into steps, it consists of studying for and writing the MCAT, completing your prerequisite courses in university, doing volunteering and extracurricular activities, shadowing, and so on. Then applying when it's time, then preparing for interviews. By breaking down the dream into smaller, actionable steps, and further breaking it down into yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily goals, you actually create change through action. Those small actions accumulate, and eventually you realize your dream. Number 5, don't be afraid to try new things. Fear of failure and judgment can hold us back from so much. But one of the most important lessons I've learned is simply to try. Like the Nike slogan, just do it. Even if things don't work out, it's always worth it because you learn so much, not just about the subject, but about yourself as well. There's this quote that really resonated with me from an interview I saw a while ago. I do everything as a joke. I applied to Harvard as a joke. I became a TED speaker as a joke. I started a business as a joke. This reminds me that I don't need to take myself so seriously or worry endlessly about potential outcomes. Sometimes approaching things with a lighter heart can open doors that overthinking keeps closed. We only get one life, and we'll never know what opportunities are waiting if we don't take that first step. This mindset has encouraged me to experiment, starting this YouTube channel, opening an Etsy shop, launching my brand Living in Tune Studio. Not everything works out, but failure is still an incredible learning opportunity that can propel you toward the next step. And the things that do work out, they can change your life in unexpected ways. Ask yourself, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And then consider trying it anyway. These lessons have shaped not just my 20s, but how I want to approach whatever comes next. Life is about making choices and showing up for them, staying curious and grateful, putting in consistent work, and having the courage to try things that feel uncertain. I hope something here resonated with you, and if it did, I'd love to hear about the biggest lessons you've learned. Please share them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, consider subscribing for more conversations about living authentically and intentionally. Thank you for being here with me today. Keep living in tune with yourself, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.